Alright, welcome back everybody to Katawa Shoujo. It's the day of the festival. I can't wait to see what's happened, so just go on without further ado. The next day I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning mats and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway intending to go out and find something to eat, but we will meet Kenji. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with "No Girls Allowed" sign, and with the girls crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I again hear the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing, was just gonna ask what you're going to do today. Half the school is out there already. Out where? Why? What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh shit, that's today? Damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fourth finish yet. This is bad. This is going to be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people. Outside my window. Socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's going to be loud as hell. Damn, and I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell, this really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, and I couldn't even prepare for it. I could even brace myself, and now it's here and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today. The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not though, so there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. You'll eat me alive out there. I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight. Yeah, you know that he's a little bit crazy. It's not like we are meeting the first time, but okay. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I wonder. I'm kinda hungry, but I made this deal that I try to take better care of myself. Be healthier, you know. Don't know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki or head straight in. Deal? Sounds ominous. So what are you getting in return? Nothing, I guess. It's not that kind of a deal. You know Emi from our year? Oh no. You should have said Daisuke or something like this. Invent a name of a boy, of course. We kinda agreed to watch each other's back and... Aye. The shrill scream and the expression of abject terror in Kenji's face chill my blood. It's as if I told the Catholic priest I sold my soul to the devil. Huh? You sold your soul to the devil and didn't get anything in return? What the hell is wrong with you, man? Do you know who you are dealing with? She's a public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly with her carefully placed flying tackles? She's one of them. A key player in the vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted in your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. You have to call it off before it's too late. This festival too. It's just one of their ploys. He fingers his scarf nervously. By the way, he looks a little bit like Harry Potter. Faster and faster, like he is trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm going to have some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. It's kinda unsettling, and now I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? I've got a book I've been meaning to read. Something about an underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short too, I could have finished it in a day. But would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, it definitely would be. But I suppose that it would probably be a better idea to head outside, see the festival, try to integrate with all the other sideshow acts. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep up the somewhat friendly personality I've had the past week. Maybe get something to eat. My stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime. I could at least grab something from one of those stalls outside. Yeah, good idea. I'm soon outside, surrounded by various students and people who may or may not be their parents. Every so often I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from town for the promise of a festival. They're easy to spot. The ones who can't stop staring, and behind their eyes you can tell them thinking, what's wrong with this one? I almost want to yell at them. But at the same time, can I deny that I've been doing the same thing all week? Yeah, right. A wave of something like disgust sweeps over me, guilty for my own narrow-mindedness. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the same pangs of hunger that burn my guts like wildfire. The scent of something fried leads me to the promised land where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Having lunch? Breakfast? You mean you just got up? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I meant lunch. Honest. She's not buying it. Brunch? That's not a healthy breakfast at all. Okay. Woman, don't change me. I do what I do. What was that what I wanted to remember? Real men don't warm up or something like this. Real men eat when they get up, even if it's in the afternoon or something like this. Would be a pretty good equivalent for this situation. She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, that's my breakfast! What happened to it being your lunch? That's my whatever, it's my food. Emi places her hands on her hips and begins lecturing me. So she has the food in her hands and on her hips. That's probably a bad idea. Did you really forget your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, Hisao. What about your heart? My heart's fine the way it is, mostly. All I get in response is a roll of the eyes. I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if it was the case, would you? The girl's got a point, of course. But I'm not about to concede it. It's not that bad of a heart. Certainly it can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure. It handled a little running just fine too. Amy seems inconvenienced. Not surprising, as I haven't even managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. Will there ever be an episode where I don't do that? A devious look suddenly crosses her face. Of course, if you'd been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. For example, I almost died, and there was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while, which is no excuse for slacking off, you know. A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings. She nods as if something important has just been decided. So it's settled then. You've seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you'd already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy after all. And here I am ordering up some grossly unhealthy. But delicious. There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't there? No. Like staying alive, okay. Okay, that's more important, okay. If Amy weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second. A sudden question springs to my mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? Amy shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figure you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Huh. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for your concern. Tomorrow morning, then. Oh, this seems like it's already decided. Huh. Ah, well, we see. Maybe there's much more of the game. I have no idea anyway how long this game is gonna be. I figure that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Not so fast. I feel a hand on my collar and in a second I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want? Now. Amy looks almost wounded by my annoyed question. Thought you could use the company? Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just going to try sneaking some more of that fried crab, weren't you? Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentions it, that would have been a really good idea. I was not. Another glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a little. The glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm a danger to myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. I knew it, you can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you. This whole situation feels silly. I can only imagine what passerby think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine, do what you like. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Amy thinks for a minute. Well, I promised Rin I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that. I confess I'm slightly curious as to how her mural turned out myself. So again I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod of assent and find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Amy races to our destination. By the time we reach the dorms, I can feel my heart pounding. My heart shouldn't be pounding after just that. take a few deep breaths, willing to calm myself down. I'm one of the most normal-looking people in the school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wished I'd lost a hand or something. At least then it would be obvious that I belong. But instead I don't even look sick. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Amy looks back and notices my state of distress. You're not going to die on me, are you? Please don't. It'll be all my fault, and I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Besides, after the last time, I really don't think I need to see that again, especially because the nurse will totally say it's all my fault. I'm fine. Guess I need to start running after all. You wanted to keep eating your greasy, whatever it was. See, it's a good thing I found you, right? Yes, it was. Maybe. Of course I don't add that I wouldn't be in this state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. Further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Rin. If I end up with Amy, I'll be dead in 2 years. I'm convinced that I'll die very soon. She has too much of a... well, powerful, let's call it powerful lifestyle. Oh, it's you. Hello, Amy. Hey, Rin. I brought Hisao along because he was going to give himself a heart attack. I was not. My objection goes unnoticed. We stopped by to see how the mural turned out. Rin nods slowly. Well, it's right there. You can see it's pretty clear. I find myself wondering how long Rin's been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone even stopped by to look at it? Are we the first ones? Obviously we're not the first to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Rin about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. It looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out, but I guess it'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. Maybe there's missing some Prussian blue. We stand in front of the mural, talking it all in. I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. Well, it looks a little bit strange. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors swoop and blend together, dragging me along with them. There's a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me almost feel sleepy. I try hunting out of some of the colors Amy and I grabbed for her. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Oh well, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet start to hurt, but Rin doesn't seem inclined to move on. Amy speaks up. Hey Rin, have you eaten? Of course, you can't survive otherwise. What about in the past 5 hours? Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so that means I'm wrong. Amy grins and claps her hands together. Good. Come get some food with us? Rin nods in assent. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm gone. Somehow I don't think they care. Whoever they are. As we head back to the food stalls, I cast a longing eye over the fried food. No, I'd better not. I'm pretty sure Amy wouldn't let me anyway. We find a nice spot on the grass and sit down to eat our purchases. Well, my purchases anyway. Somehow I've wound up paying for all the food. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. No, don't tell me lies, man. Healthy food doesn't taste good. Alright, there is healthy food that tastes good. I just don't know which. Silence falls as Amy and I eat and Rin stares at something or other, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. Oh my god, this was such a bad one. Really, this was bad. My god. I finish my meal first and lay back on the grass. Amy glances up from her food. tired, Hiso? A little, I guess. Well, don't oversleep or anything tomorrow morning. We start our morning Yes, sir. We start our morning runs, remember? Actually, that slipped my mind. I was actually just enjoying myself. Wandering around the festival with these two was actually kinda fun. Yeah, I'll set an alarm. You'd better be there. I get angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out. That might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random act of God's then. A plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kind of guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried fruit. And anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine all starts then, not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow too. Ergo, I can have something unhealthy today. The sort of the final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with wild abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning I should make it an early night. Back! Those narrowed eyes again. You're sure you're not just going to sneak off and buy some of that fried stuff over there? Nah, I'm too full to bother now. I pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two have cleaned me out anyway. Amy giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. She's got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? I feel kind of like a monster. All part of my master plan, Hiso. Well, she forces you to, man. If she forces you to eat healthy, you've got to eat unhealthy behind her back. That's how the world turns. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thanks for the food and for keeping us company. And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Amy's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stands and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? It's slightly better than what I was planning to do. I still feel a little bad about lying to Amy though. She really does seem concerned about my health. Yeah, okay, you have heart problems. But, you know, when you usually eat healthy and there's once a fast and you eat a little bit of something, I don't think you will drop that. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. Hey, I do have work to do. Oh, we don't meet anyone else? My book waits for me, and I flop onto my bed and read through the firework display. Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Amy dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Do I oversleep now? Huh? Oh my! Oh my. Ah. Act 2. Farm. Okay, I wonder. Now I really wonder. Was this some kind of decision already? Could I have had a final day of Act 1 with Shizune and Misha, or maybe with Lily and Hanako? Ah, well, at least the game is not done yet, so just see what happens. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Class is still quite far off, but I agree to run with Amy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Amy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Amy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy too. Ah, come on. At the very least, I'm sure Amy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late. It would seem that Amy is already here. What a relief. Not according to my watch. We both are early, in fact. Damn, you've got me there. Amy is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in the running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin knows me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it. Nice to know Amy was on my side at least. Amy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week, and even then I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Amy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao, you've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying, it kinda hurts a little. Ah, that's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you, like this. To demonstrate, Amy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. My god. God bless you, Amy. I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course. Flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes no sense to me, but Amy seems to believe it's true. With Amy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we'd better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? I think that's maybe a bit much for someone. I don't know how much is a mile. Ah, you American people and your not kilometer stuff. That's 4 laps around the track, got it? That sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? Hazy memory of running a mile for gym classes surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Amy sets a pretty good pace, and I fall behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasingly slightly. But the second curve I've started to breathe through my mouth. Amy doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Well, never better. Oh really? Maybe I should speed up then, Oh no, wouldn't want you to exert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Amy smiles happily, simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our fourth lap, and Amy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. She takes off at blinding speed, while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already running the second. As I struggle across the backstretch, Amy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Amy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly come on. It seems she wears some black sports bra. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being sort of the guy who stares at the girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hisao. Kind of you. We'll say. Amy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. Whoa. There's a blur as Amy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. You can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Amy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Amy's got her hands behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards, ever so slightly, so that I can see a small strip of her belly. Alright, where does that come from? You know, this... through the whole game I was wondering when this comes in, but this is rather like an explosion from 0 to 100. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So, how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline? Amy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Okay. No, the video didn't froze. My brain froze. Okay. I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. Amy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Amy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no! We'd better get a move on, Hisao. I wonder if this is now Is this the end? I don't know. Well, let's see. Class is in an hour and I need to shower. Oh, that rhymes. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Amy points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from threat or friction or anything. Normally I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these mornings run, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Amy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time... Don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now, but if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know. So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me, though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Amy's pretty funny to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders even. Amy waves a quickly goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal, middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime, when else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Amy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. Alright. Is it all set in stone already? I'm so curious. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. That's also not good for your heart, my friend. I managed to warm the water a bit and spent some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart, surprisingly, feels the last bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel a little bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I am out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Amy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Amy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some prepackaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep to on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Amy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Amy among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my leg hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds? Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha! That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Amy chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long, there was a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Amy's comment, she doesn't show. Amy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another, or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The 2 girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Amy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Amy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey Hiso, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hiso, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice on the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all, that's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too. I'll make sure he comes, Amy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by the same outside force, pushing me irrevocably toward my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily. Otherwise, I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot. Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Amy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Amy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Amy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Amy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Amy seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that it's pretty predictable. Your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Ah, okay. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Amy jumps, a look of panic on her face. Oh no, I needed to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for next classes. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Amy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Amy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems too preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She's probably used to Amy taking care of cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Amy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up from lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss our garbages and get to class. Alright, I have to drink something, and I think I'll go on. It's so exciting. I wonder what happens. Alright, okay. So I will stop here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, come back for the next part, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.